Yo, 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 this is Mr. O, and today we're going to learn about coterminal angles, and we might be able to touch also the complementary and supplementary angles in relation to angle measurement in we're using radians and degrees, okay? So first, let's go to coterminal angles. What's coterminal? These are two different angles with the same initial side and terminal side, so basically, you have an angle that have the same initial side, terminal side, but different number of revolution. Okay, so to find a coterminal angle, we just have to keep on adding or subtracting it by a revolution of 360 degrees if it's in terms of degrees, or we can keep on adding by a revolution in radian is 2 pi. Okay, so how do you find the two coterminal angles, one positive, one negative for each angle below? So what we're given here is 200 degrees. So for one positive, I'm going to add 360 degrees there. So that's going to be 560. So let's draw it so we can get to have an idea here. Okay, so we learned something. This is the initial side. The 200 degrees will be somewhere right on your third quadrant. So this is your 200 degrees. So a 560 will be something like this is the initial side, this is the terminal side, but the number of revolution will be 360 plus 200, stop there. That red one there is the 560 degrees. Okay, so it's the same position of the initial and terminal side except the number of revolution. Okay, but when we do the negative, it will be the same thing also. This is the initial side, that's the terminal side there. It will be just this terminal side move a quarter and a little bit more than negative 9 degrees. And for us to get that one is 200 degrees minus this time by 360. So it's going to be negative 160 degrees, right? So it's kind of this is a negative 160 degrees there, okay? Because it's negative, it moves clockwise, so that's why it's negative, okay? Next, why do we have this one here? Um, Next will be a 5 pi over 3. So again, we just have to add and subtract 2 pi there. So if I add 2 pi here, we know that 5 pi over 3 is the same thing as 6 pi over 3 there. The answer is 11 pi over 3. That's the positive one. And for the negative is 5 pi over 3 minus what? 6 pi over 3, which will be negative pi over 3 there. Okay? Very simple, right? Next for negative pi over 6, so I'm going to add here 2 pi, which we know is negative pi over 6 is same thing as 12 pi over 6. So it's going to be 11 pi over 6 there. And the other one is negative pi over 6 minus 12 pi over 6, which will be negative 13 pi over 6. Those two are the positive negative coterminal of the negative pi over 6. Okay, so I'd like you to try this one. Let's say negative 45 degrees. um 7 pi over 11. What else? And negative uh, pi over 4. Can you please find a coterminal angle of these three angles here? Negative 45 degrees, 7 pi 11, and negative pi over 4. Okay? All right. True or false? Is pi and 108 degrees are coterminal angles? We know a pi is 0 pi. This is the pi here. The pi falls on the negative side of the x-axis, which is also 108 degrees. So the answer, is it true or false? Is for you to figure out. Is it true or false? Complementary angles means when you add them, it's equal to 90 degrees or pi over 2. Why is it pi over 2? Because in the standard position, this is 0 pi, this is the entire pi, half of that one is pi over 2. And that's the 90 degrees. Okay. And for supplementary angles, that is the 108 degrees. So when you add the two angles, they have to be equal to 180 or equal to pi. All right, let's find the complement and supplement of each angle if possible. We're given here A, B, C. A is 64, B is 116, C is 2 pi over 5. Okay. Find the complement. Complement are two angles. When you add them, will give you 90. So here, 90 minus 64 will give us 26 degrees. So this is 26 degrees. 116 is beyond the 90, so this is none or it's impossible. 2 pi over 5, 2 pi over 5 is less than 90. And how did I know that one? Because 2 fifths is less than a half. Half is the 90. So I will subtract it by pi over 2, which is, we know that that's a 90. So I'm going to multiply this one by 5 here. Here's by 5. Here's by 2 here. That will give us 5 pi over 10 minus 4 pi over 10. That makes us the answer is 1 pi over 10. Okay. If you notice, if the question is in degree, the answer should be in degree format. If the answer in terms of radian, the answer has to be in radian form as well. Okay. Supplementary is something that when you add them will be equal to 180. So 180 minus 64, that will give us, was 180 minus 64. 180 minus 64 will be 116 degrees. And that 116 is good enough for you to get a supplement. So 180 minus 16 is 64 degrees. And 2 pi over 5, 2 pi over 5 will be subtracted by a whole pi, which we know is 5 pi over 5, right? So therefore, the answer is 3 pi over 5 as the supplement. Okay, that should be 3 pi as a supplement to 2 pi over 5. Okay, alrighty. And I hope you learned something. As always, kaboom.